Hello students, in the last class we completed the case 1, that is the titration of the weak base and strong acid, the best example acetic acid and sodium hydroxide titration, and also we completed the weak monoprotic acid versus strong base, diprotic acid versus strong base, that is the hydrogen sulfide versus NaOH, and carbonic acid versus NaOH. And also we completed one more important one, that is the triprotic acid, that is the tribasic acid, that is the phosphoric acid and sodium hydroxide titration. Okay, now in this today's lecture what we are going to discuss is titration of weak base and strong acid. The titration between what? Weak base and strong acid. Now here the best example for the weak base is the ammonium hydroxide. What is the molecular formula of a ammonium hydroxide? NH4OH. NH4OH. And what is the best example for the strong acid? Hydrochloric acid. What is the molecular formula of hydrochloric acid? That is HCl. Okay. Now the reaction between the ammonium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid to give ammonium chloride NH4Cl and water, that is the H2O. Okay. Now in the last class I told you there are 4 stages. First stage, that is the starting stage. In the beginning, here in the beaker only we have the sodium hydroxide solution. That means we are not adding the hydrochloric acid. With the help of a burette, drop by drop hydrochloric acid is added to the NH4OH solution. In the beginning, that means only in the beaker ammonium hydroxide will be present. Ammonium hydroxide being a weak base, so we can calculate the pH of a solution with respect to weak base only. Okay. Now at equivalence point, what happens? Both the hydrochloric acid and ammonium hydroxide both are completely what? Consumes. Okay. Now when both are completely consumes, only in the solution you will get what? Ammonium chloride salt. That means at equivalent point both strong acid and weak base both are what? Limiting reagents. Okay. Now come to before equivalence point. What happens? Before equivalent points, here only limiting reagent will be the hydrogen chloride, that is the hydrochloric acid. Okay. And ammonium hydroxide will be the excess of reagent. So in the solution which components will be present? Obviously weak base and its salt with strong acid, that is the ammonium chloride. The mixture of weak base and its conjugate acid is referred as what? Basic buffer. That means before the equivalent point you have in the beaker basic buffer solution, that is a composition of NH4OH and NH4Cl. Now we know how to calculate the pH of a basic buffer with the help of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay. Now what about the after equivalent point? That means after equivalent point, in the sense what happens here? Here in the beaker NH4OH completely consumes. That means now the limiting reagent will be the solution which is present in the beaker, and beaker means this is the beaker. Okay. Now excess of reagent will be present from the burette solution. It is present from in the burette solution. That means in the solution what happens? NH4Cl salt will be present. Now along with the salt hydrochloric acid is also present. So here two components, ammonium chloride will be present and along with hydrochloric acid will be present. Okay. And also water will be present. Okay. Now here out of these 3 components, hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. That's why the pH of a solution was determined with the help of hydrochloric acid. Are you getting my point? Now here initially we have in the beaker ammonium hydroxide. So in the beginning only we have NH4OH, that is a weak base. So weak base has pH value higher. So weak base has pH value higher. Okay, because OH minus ion concentration increases, pH value increases. Now as we adding hydrochloric acid drop by drop before equivalence point, what we will obtain? Basic buffer. So the basic buffer will be obtained in this zone. Okay, here there will be no decrease in the pH value significantly because this is a buffer solution. Buffer solution resists the change in the pH. Okay, after crossing the before equivalent point you have basic buffer solution. Once when we are getting the equivalent point, what happened? Salt will be produced. Which will be produced at equivalent point? Salt will be produced, that is ammonium chloride. So here the salt hydrolysis, from the salt hydrolysis we can calculate the pH of the solution where at equivalence points. Okay, now here the salt will be ammonium chloride, where the ammonium cation will be the strong cation and Cl minus is a weak conjugate base of strong acid hydrochloric acid. So we know this is a cationic hydrolysis. In the cationic hydrolysis, the aqueous nature of the solution will be what? Acidic, and pH of the solution will be what? Less than 7 at room temperature. Yes or no? So here finally here in the salt hydrolysis what happens? The pH of the solution decreases because of the acidic character. Okay, H plus ion concentration increases, the pH value decreases. Now after crossing the equivalent point, what will be the excess of reagent in the solution? That will be the hydrochloric acid. So this will be the strong acid, nothing but hydrochloric acid. The pH of a solution finally determined with the help of hydrochloric acid, initially determined with the help of ammonium hydroxide. Okay, in the midway, that is at the before the equivalent point basic buffer, at equivalent point salt to hydrolysis. Okay, now here one of the important indicators which we use in this titration will be the methyl orange indicator, because the pH range of the methyl orange indicator will be 3 to 5. If there will be a sharp change in the pH value around 3 to 5 in the titration of weak base and strong acid, then only we can use such indicator. Okay, are you getting my point? Now there is a one question given here. 100 ml of a 0.1 molar ammonium hydroxide titrated with 0.1 m hydrochloric acid. Then find the pH of a solution when 0 ml of HCl is added, 50 ml is added, 100 ml of HCl is added, okay, and 150 ml of HCl is added, and Kb for the ammonium hydroxide is given as a 10 raised to minus 5. From here we can write pKb will be equal to what? 5. Okay, now here first of all, initially in the beginning in the beaker only ammonium hydroxide is present. Yes or no? Because we are not adding the hydrochloric acid. What is the concentration of ammonium hydroxide is given in the question? 0.1 molar. 0.1 molar. Do you know ammonium hydroxide is a weak base? So I am applying alpha is equal to under root of Kb by C, where Kb value 10 raised to minus 5 whole divided by concentration of the weak electrolyte 0.1 under root. This is nothing but 10 to the power minus 2. This is the 0.01 percentage. Are you getting my point? 0.0, just wait. This is 0.01. So in case of percentage, shall write it is 1%. So our approximation less than or equal to 5%, then only we have to use alpha is equal to under root of Kb by C. Our approximation is correct. Okay. Now what is the OH minus ion concentration at equilibrium? C into alpha. C value 0.1, alpha value just we calculated 10 to the power minus 2. Are you getting my point? So the overall value of the OH minus ion concentration will be equal to 10 raised to minus 3 is equal to what? 10 raised to minus 3 moles per liter. From here we are calculating the POH because this is a base, that's why we are calculating POH, which is equal to negative logarithm to the OH base 10 to the OH minus ion concentration. So from here I am writing the POH value is equal to how much? 3. Now we know the relation between pH and POH is equal to pH plus POH is equal to what? 14 at room temperature. So from here, what is the pH value? Is equal to 14 minus POH. Okay, 14 minus POH. Okay, now 14 minus 3, that is the 11. So this is the initial pH when 0 ml of a HCl is added. Now next one, 50 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. Okay, now write the expression for the reaction between the hydrochloric acid and ammonium hydroxide. Do you know acid base reaction? When acid combine with a base to form salt and water. Okay, hydrochloric acid combining with ammonium hydroxide to give ammonium chloride, that is the NH4Cl. NH4Cl plus H2O. Now what is the volume of NH4Cl? Give NH4OH given 100 ml and molarity 0.1. So 100 into 0.1 will be 10 millimoles. Yes or no? Now in the question, hydrochloric acid 50 ml into molarity 0.1, so 5 millimoles. Okay. Now tell me which is a limiting reagent? Hydrochloric acid. That means hydrochloric acid 5 millimoles completely consumes. Out of the 10 millimoles of ammonium hydroxide, 5 millimoles will be left. Yes or no? Now in the solution, the composition is NH4OH and NH4Cl. Do you know this is a mixture of basic buffer? Yes, this is the mixture of what? Basic buffer. We know how to calculate the pH of a basic buffer solution. That is POH is equal to pKb plus log of salt concentration upon base concentration. Okay, here salt concentration, base concentration 5 millimole, they will be get cancelled. So log 1 becomes 0. So finally the pKb value, here in the beginning I tell you pKb value 5. So here the POH value will be 5. But I have to find the pH, that is the 14 minus POH. So the answer will be pH value 9. When how many ml of a hydrochloric acid is added? 50 ml. How many ml of HCl is added? 50 ml hydrochloric acid is added. Okay. Now next one, how many ml of a hydrochloric acid? 100 ml of a hydrochloric acid. When 100 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added, now I am writing the reaction between hydrochloric acid and ammonium hydroxide, that is the HCl plus NH4OH. Okay, we know when acid combine with a base to form salt and water. Yes, what is the formula of a salt here? NH4Cl. And what is the formula of water? H2O. Now here hydrochloric acid is 100 ml into 0.1, that will be 10 millimoles. Here ammonium hydroxide is also 100 ml into 0.1 molar, that is also 10 millimoles. Now here both are limiting reagents. Yes. Now both will be completely consumed. Okay, and only you have salt formation in the solution, that will be the ammonium chloride. Now what is the concentration of ammonium chloride? Total number of millimoles of salt, that will be 10 millimoles. Now what will be the total volume of the mixture? V1 plus V2, that means 100 ml of acid plus 100 ml of base. Are you getting my point? So 10 by 200, that will be 1 by 20. So what is the concentration here? C, that will be 1 by 20. Do you know log C, that is the log 1 upon 20. Shall I write this is minus log 20? Do you know log 20, log 2 value 0.3 and log 10 value 1, so 1.3, that is minus 1.3. Okay, now here we have to consider salt hydrolysis. How we can calculate the pH of a solution with the help of what? Salt hydrolysis. What is the salt here? Ammonium chloride. In ammonium chloride, only cation undergo hydrolysis. That's why this is called cationic hydrolysis. So in the previous lecture, we completed the salt hydrolysis, where the cationic hydrolysis, the aqueous nature will be acidic and pH value less than 7. So what is the pH calculate? What is the expression to calculate the pH for cationic hydrolysis? That is, pH is equal to half into pKw minus pKb minus log C. Yes or no? So pKw value at room temperature will be 14. What is the pKb value here? 5 minus log C value minus 1.3. So minus of minus you will get here plus. So finally, if you simplify, your answer will be 5.15. This is the pH of a solution when 100 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. 100 ml of hydrochloric acid is added. Now one more is there. 150 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. 150 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. Now here hydrochloric acid, HCl combined with ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH, to give what? NH4Cl salt plus H2O. NH4Cl salt plus H2O. Yes or no? Now here NH4OH will be 10 millimoles only, but here hydrochloric acid will be 15 millimoles. Then what happens? NH4OH will be the limiting reagent and HCl will be the excess reagent. So there will be 5 millimoles left in the solution and 10 millimoles of salt will be formed in the solution. Okay. Now the salt hydrolysis will be neglected. Here salt hydrolysis neglected when compared to the strong acid, that is the hydrochloric acid. So we have to consider only the pH is due to whom? Hydrochloric acid. Are you getting my point? Now here what is the H plus ion concentration in the solution? Total number of millimoles left here 5, that is the hydrochloric acid, and total volume of the solution 100 ml plus 150 ml. Are you getting my point? This will be 1 by 50. Are you getting my point? 1 by 50. From here the pH of the solution will be 1.7. The pH of a solution will be what? 1.7. Are you getting my point? Now here 4 cases we completed. In the beginning, what is the case? Only NH4OH is present in the beaker. Okay. Now in the second case, buffer formation will be takes place, that is before equivalence. Now this is the equivalence point. This is the equivalent point. Okay, equivalent point or equivalence. Equivalence point. At the equivalent point, only salt will be formed and the pH of a solution estimated with the help of a salt hydrolysis. Okay. Now here fourth case, after equivalent point you have in the solution NH4Cl salt along with hydrochloric acid, but hydrochloric acid being a strong acid, we can determine the pH of the solution with the help of strong acid only. Are you getting my point? Now come to titration of a strong acid with a strong base. The best example for the strong acid, hydrochloric acid, and strong base is the NaOH. Here NaOH is taken in the burette, okay, and hydrochloric acid is taken in the beaker. Now NaOH was drop by drop added to the hydrochloric acid solution. Are you getting my point? Now initially here we have, let's suppose 40 ml of 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid is present in the beaker. Okay. Now we are treating this hydrochloric acid or titrated this hydrochloric acid with 0.1 molar NaOH. Let's suppose, what is the volume of NaOH added initially? Let's suppose 0 ml. So that means we do not adding any NaOH. Only in the solution hydrochloric acid is present. Are you getting my point? Now here in the hydrochloric acid, that will be the 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid we have in the beginning. Okay. That means the H plus ion concentration will be 10 raised to minus 1 and pH of the solution is what? 1. So this is the pH of a solution regarding the 0 ml of NaOH, that is the reaction do not started. Okay, now here the initial pH of the solution of the solution, the initial pH of the solution in the beaker is 1. Now 10 ml of NaOH is added, then what happens? 10 ml of NaOH is added, then what happens? Now here you see, now what is the millimoles of HCl? 40 into 0.1, that means 4 millimoles of HCl is present. Now 10 ml of 0.1, that means 1 millimole of NaOH is added. Now NaOH will be limiting reagent, that means NaOH completely neutralizes, and 3 millimoles of hydrochloric acid will be present and 1 millimoles of salt will be formed, but we do not consider the salt here because it is a salt of strong acid, strong base. Okay, now we have to consider only the pH of a solution with respect to the strong acid, that is the hydrochloric acid. How many millimoles of hydrochloric acid is there? 3. And what is the total volume? That will be the 40 ml of HCl, 10 ml of NaOH, that is will be the 50 ml, 3 by 50. Okay, now this will be the H plus ion concentration. This will be what? H plus ion concentration. From the H plus ion concentration 3 by 50, if you simplify the pH value, which is nothing but minus log of 3 by 50, you will get the answer 1.22. 1.22. This is the pH of the solution when 10 ml of NaOH is added. Similarly, if you add the 20 ml of NaOH, the pH of the solution 1.48, and if you add the 30 ml of NaOH, you have the pH of a solution 1.84. Remember, you are adding the base, that is the NaOH, that means the OH minus ion concentration increases, indirectly the H plus ion concentration decreases, that's why the pH value slowly increases. Okay, even 39 ml of NaOH is added, the pH value of the solution 2.9. Now here when we add 39.9 ml of NaOH, the pH value 3.1. Now when we adding 40 ml of NaOH, exactly, that means 40 ml in the sense how many millimoles of hydrochloric acid? That will be the 4 millimoles. And here how many millimoles of NaOH? 40 into 0.1, again 4 millimoles. That means this is the equivalent point. This is the equivalent point. That means completely here what happens? Both are limiting reagents. Only you have the salt. What is the salt here? Salt of strong acid and strong base. We know the pH of a salt of strong base will be equal to what? 7 at room temperature. Now here 39.9 ml to 40 ml, just 0.1 ml addition of NaOH, drastically the pH value increases by approximately 4 units. That means from 3.1 to approximately, not approximately, exactly it is going to 7 pH. Are you getting by? Nearly the 4 or 3.9 units of pH value suddenly jumping, suddenly increases. Now after 40 ml, just if you add 0.1 ml also, then 40.1 ml of NaOH is added. That means here NaOH will be, now what happens? NaOH will be what happens? Excess of reagent here, and HCl will be what happens? Limiting reagent. That means here HCl will be again 4 millimoles. Okay, but NaOH you have 4.01 millimoles. Are you getting my point? That means here NaOH will be present in the excess quantity, so that's why the pH of a solution will be greater than 7. Now here the value will be 10.1. If you see, just to 39.9 to 40.1 ml, if you see, the pH value suddenly increases by how many units? Nearly 7 units, 3.1 to 10.1. Now this 7 value corresponding to the equivalent point or neutral point regarding the strong acid, strong base titration. Are you getting my point? Now here, this is a graph, pH value taken on the y-axis and the volume of NaOH is added on the x-axis. Remember, on the x-axis, if the volume of base is added, then the pH value increases. The graph should be upward. Suppose in the x-axis, if the volume of acid is there, when the volume of acid is added, H plus ion concentration increases, the pH value decreases, so the graph should be downward direction. The graph should be what? Downward direction. Are you getting my point? Now here, the pH range of the titration will be 3 to 10. Here the pH range of the, that means from 3 to 7, 3 to 10, there is a sharp increasing of the pH value, nearly 10 units. So in this region, there are three important indicators which are effectively function. They are called methyl orange, methyl red, and phenolphthalein. So we have to remember the name of the indicator. This is a very important question. So the question is given like this. Now during the titration of a hydrochloric acid and NaOH, which of the following indicators are used? That means methyl orange we can use, methyl red we can use, and phenolphthalein we can use. Along with these three indicators, there are some other indicators also there. We will discuss in the theory of indicator topic. But the three important indicators only we are discussing here, which are methyl orange, methyl red, and phenolphthalein. Are you getting my point? Now the fourth case, the titration curve for the weak acid and weak base. Are you getting my point? Now this is not the significant titration, because in the titration of weak acid and weak base, there will be no steeper portion in the pH curve. So we cannot exactly determine the end point of the solution, and also there is no suitable indicator is used in this titration of weak acid and weak base. Are you getting my point? Now, so these are the four important titrations. The first titration is the weak acid strong base titration, number 1. Number 2, strong acid weak base titration. Are you getting my point? Number 3, strong acid strong base titration. Number 4, weak acid weak base titration. Okay, this is not the significant titration. Okay, now the next case is the titration of the salt of a weak acid strong base with strong acid. Okay, what is the titration here? Salt of a weak acid strong base with strong acid. The best example for the salt of a weak acid strong base will be the sodium acetate, and strong acid will be the hydrochloric acid. Now if you see the reaction between the sodium acetate and hydrochloric acid to give acetic acid and NaCl. Do you know this is a salt of weak acid? Sodium acetate is a salt of weak acid, and hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Strong acid decomposes the weak acid from its salt. So that's why the acetic acid will be displaced from its salt solution. Yes or no? Now in this reaction also, in this titration also, there are 4 stages. What is the first stage here? Starting stage. In the beginning, only in the beaker we have sodium acetate. Only we have sodium acetate. So sodium acetate aqueous solution, the salt hydrolysis, that is the anionic hydrolysis. So in this the pH was determined only with the help of salt hydrolysis only. Are you getting my point? Now here, when we adding hydrochloric acid to the sodium acetate, then what happens? Acetic acid will be formed in the beaker along with sodium acetate, because hydrochloric acid here will be the limiting reagent before the equivalent point. That means in the solution we have sodium acetate, that is the CH3COONA, and acetic acid, that is the CH3COOH. So the mixture of these two is referred as what? Acidic buffer. Is referred as what? Acidic buffer. That means before equivalent point you will get acidic buffer solution. So the pH of a solution, how we can calculate it? That is with the help of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. So before equivalent point you have the mixture of acetic acid and its conjugate base, that is the acetate ion or sodium acetate salt. This is known as what? Acidic buffer, and pH was decided by acidic buffer solution. Are you getting my point? Now at equivalent point what happens? At equivalent point what happens? That means both must be completely consumed. That means here the hydrochloric acid and also sodium acetate both must be completely consumed. Yes or no? When both are completely consumed, that means both will be LR, that is the limiting reagents. Okay. Now in the solution, in the beaker you have what? Only acetic acid along with NaCl. NaCl do not undergo any hydrolysis, so we should not consider the NaCl. Now we have to calculate the pH of a solution with the help of weak acid, that is called acetic acid. After equivalent point, at equivalent point what happens? Both are limiting reagents and both are completely consumed. Only in the beaker you have weak acid, acetic acid is present. We know how to calculate the pH of a weak electrolytes. Okay, first of all we have to calculate the degree of ionization alpha. After that we have to find the H plus N concentration at equilibrium, which is equal to C into alpha. After that we have to find the pH, that is the negative logarithm to the base 10 of H plus ion concentration. Now after equivalent point what happens? So the sodium acetate salt will be the limiting reagent and hydrochloric acid will be the excess of reagent. Are you getting my point? That means in the final mixture you have weak acid, that is called acetic acid, that is CH3COONa, along with strong acid, that is the hydrochloric acid is also present, because hydrochloric acid is present in the excess quantity. So the mixture of weak acid and you have strong acid. Here there is a common ion effect. There will be which effect? Common ion effect. Due to common ion effect, the ionization of a weak electrolyte further decreases. That's why we should not consider the H plus N concentration from acetic acid. Only we have to consider the H plus N concentration that is coming from the strong acid, that is the hydrochloric acid. Are you getting my point? Now here the pH curve will be the pH value on the y-axis and the volume of hydrochloric acid added on the x-axis. Now just now I told you, if HCl, that is the volume of acid added on the x-axis, immediately the pH curve will be in the downward direction. Initially the pH is only due to the salt hydrolysis, that is nothing but the sodium acetate. Okay, now before equivalent point you have acidic buffer, that is a mixture of acetic acid and sodium acetate, that is the CH3COONa. Okay, now at equivalent point you have completely both are limiting reagents. Okay, so when both are completely limiting reagents, you will have acetic acid and NaCl in the beaker. Okay, now finally we have strong electrolyte, that is the hydrochloric acid, after equivalent point. So this is the equivalent point, this will be the equivalent point. Are you getting my point? Now here the pH range of the solution, here 3 to 5. In this 3 to 5, one of the important suitable indicator, that is the methyl orange, which is most suitable or appropriate indicator. Are you getting my point? Remember, I am writing here one note. Suppose if strong acid is there and strong base is there, in this titration we can use 3 indicators. In the titration of strong acid and strong base, we can use 3 types of indicators. The first indicator is the methyl orange, second one is the methyl red, and third one is the phenolphthalein. Very important. Okay, this is the first type of the titration of acid base. Okay, now come to second category. In the second category we have strong acid, weak base. We can use 2 indicators, that is the methyl orange and methyl red. Okay, now the third titration is titration of weak acid, strong base. We can use the most important indicator, that is called phenolphthalein, HPH. The general formula of a phenolphthalein is HPH. So whereas in the fourth titration, that is the weak acid weak base, there is no suitable indicator. Just now I told you, because there is no sharp change in the pH value at the equivalence point or end point. Are you getting my point? Now one more example here. It is also salt of a weak acid and strong base versus strong acid. The weak acid, carbonic acid, it's a salt with strong base, that is the sodium hydroxide, that is the sodium carbonate, versus hydrochloric acid. Now here there are two equivalent points here, because the sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid reaction initially 1:1 ratio, you will get the sodium bicarbonate. Okay, do you know sodium bicarbonate is amphoteric species? Yes, because it containing acidic proton, acidic hydrogen, so it can react to, okay, it is amphoteric, it can lose the H plus ion or it can gain the H plus ion depending upon the condition, situation. Now we are treating with acid, that means it can behave as a base. Okay, so this is a base and hydrochloric acid is acid. So again there is a one more, that is the second equivalent point. So that is the again 1:1 ratio, and finally you will get the NaCl and H2CO3. Here you see the sodium carbonate containing a salt of weak acid, that is a carbonic acid. Do you know hydrochloric acid is a strong acid? Yes. Carbonic acid is a weak acid. Just now I told you strong acid displaces the weak acid from its salt solution. That's why hydrochloric acid displaces the carbonic acid from the sodium carbonate. Okay. Now here there are two equivalent points. First equivalent point, second equivalent point. In the first equivalent point, you have the mixture of Na2CO3 and NaHCO3. Okay, the Na2CO3 and NaHCO3 is known as a what? Acidic buffer. Okay. Next equivalent point, NaHCO3, H2CO3. This is a second buffer. Okay, buffer 1, buffer 2. There are two buffers will be formed and two salt hydrolysis will here. Now here the first case, here the pH range 8.3 to 10. In this pH range we will use a suitable indicator, that is called phenolphthalein, and at the second equivalent point the pH changes will be from 3.1 to 4.4, where we will use the second indicator, that is called methyl orange. Okay, so these are the two important indicators we are using in this titration between the sodium carbonate versus hydrochloric acid. Here we are using the two indicators. So this is called double titration, double indicator titration. We will discuss in another topic, that is the double indicator titrations. Okay, now here we have one question here. What is the question here? 1.06 grams of 1.06 grams of sodium carbonate is dissolved in the 100 ml of a water. Okay, this solution was titrated against 0.05 molar hydrochloric acid. Then calculate the pH of a solution. Okay, HCl added is 200 ml and 400 ml. When 200 ml of hydrochloric acid is added, we have to find the pH, and 400 ml of hydrochloric acid is added, then we have to find the pH. And the dissociation constants, because carbonic acid, here weak acid, carbonic acid, so it has two dissociation constant, that is the Ka1 and Ka2. Ka1 4.2 10 raised to minus 7, Ka2 4.8 into 10 raised to minus 11. Now first of all, here two questions are there. First question, when we are adding the 200 ml of hydrochloric acid. Now here acid base reaction, do you know Na2CO3, salt of weak acid and strong base. Now it is treated with whom? Hydrochloric acid. Okay, now here first of all you have sodium bicarbonate and NaCl. Now what is the sodium carbonate moles? What is the weight of the sodium carbonate? 1.06. Do you know the molar mass of sodium carbonate? 106. So you will have how many moles? 0.01 moles. Yes or no? Shall I write 0.01 moles into 10 millimoles? Yes, because 1 mole is equal to 1000 millimoles. So 0.01 into 1000 millimoles, that is the 10 millimoles. So finally, in the mixture, we are taking the 10 millimoles of sodium carbonate in 100 ml of water, and again we are adding the 200 ml of HCl, whose concentration will be 0.05 molar. So 0.05 into 200, again you have 10 millimoles. That means both are limiting reagent. That means this is the first equivalent point. First equivalent point. Are you getting my point? So there are two equivalent points here. Okay. Now here both are completely consumed. So only in the solution you have sodium bicarbonate, that is the 10 millimoles. Now, do you know sodium bicarbonate, salt hydrolysis, with the help of salt hydrolysis, we can find the pH of the solution. And one more important thing, in the salt hydrolysis, here, this is a amphoteric species. This will be what? Amphoteric species. In amphoteric species, how to calculate the pH of a solution? pH is equal to pKa1 plus pKa2 whole divided by what? 2. Are you getting my point? Now here Ka1 given, so we can find the pKa1, that is the minus log K1, that is equal to 6.38, and Ka2 given. From here we can calculate the pKa2, that is the minus log Ka2, that will be 10.32 whole divided by 2. So finally the pH of a solution will be what? 8.35. 8.35. So this is the first 200 ml of hydrochloric acid is added. Are you getting my point? Now the second case, here 400 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. 400 ml of a hydrochloric acid is added. Okay. Now here again I am writing the equation Na2CO3 plus hydrochloric acid to give NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, and sodium chloride. Yes or no? Now here what happens? Here Na2CO3 10 millimoles. Okay, but the hydrochloric acid will be 0.05 molar into 400 ml, that will be the 20 millimoles. That means hydrochloric acid will be excess. That means 10 millimoles completely consumed, and 10 millimoles of HCl will be left, and 10 millimoles of sodium bicarbonate and 10 millimoles of sodium chloride will be formed. Sodium chloride is a salt of strong acid, strong base, that will do not react in the solution. Now in the solution you have sodium bicarbonate plus hydrochloric acid. So there is a second buffer solution. So here sodium bicarbonate plus hydrochloric acid, you have sodium chloride plus carbonic acid. Okay. Now here sodium bicarbonate will be 10 millimoles. Hydrochloric acid is also 10 millimoles. Okay. That means both are limiting reagents. So you have 10 millimoles of NaCl and 10 millimoles of what? Carbonic acid. So here we have to calculate the pH of a solution regarding the carbonic acid. Okay. Now carbonic acid will be 10 millimoles. Okay. Carbonic acid will be what? 10 millimoles. Now here I am writing here carbonic acid, you are getting how many millimoles? 10 millimoles. Now the total volume of the solution will be here how much? 500 ml. How much? 500 ml. Are you getting my point? Now the value becomes 0.02 molar. Now here carbonic acid, how it dissociated? It is a weak electrolyte, so there will be a equilibrium established. So 0.02 moles, let's suppose x mole dissociated. From here the Ka1 is equal to x into x upon 0.02 minus x. So Ka1 value given. So from here the x value, here you will get the x value, I am writing here x value you will get to 9.165 by solving the quadratic expression into 10 raised to minus 5. This is the H plus ion concentration indirectly. Okay. From here, finally, the pH of a solution will be 4.04. pH of a solution will be how much? 4.04. Are you getting my point? Now, the case sixth one is titration of a salt of a strong acid weak base. Salt of strong acid weak base versus strong base. Now, the best example for the salt of strong acid and weak base, that is the ammonium chloride, because ammonium hydroxide is a weak base and hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Now it is treated with whom? Strong base, that is the NaOH. Do you know ammonia is a weak base? Yes. NaOH is a strong base? Yes. Strong base decomposes the weak base from its salt solution. That's why ammonia will be decomposed from its ammonium salt with the help of strong base, that is the NaOH. This is one of the important tests in the what we say salt analysis, that is the identification of ammonium cation. Whatever the salt, if it is ammonium salt, if the cation is ammonium, then immediately if you add small amount of alkali and slightly heating in the test tube, then what happens? A pungent smell gas, that is the ammonia gas, liberated. This is the test for ammonium cation in the qualitative analysis, that is the salt analysis. Okay, now here also there are 4 steps. The first step, initially only in the beaker we have ammonium chloride. Here the beaker only we have ammonium chloride. Now we are adding the NaOH with the help of the burette by drop. Okay, when we are adding the NaOH slowly, then what happens? The salt will be decomposed and there will be a formation of a buffer, because here NH4OH will be the limiting reagent, so which will be consumed completely in the reaction, and here you have ammonium chloride salt will be present in the beaker along with NH4OH. This is nothing but the basic buffer. This is the before equivalence point. Okay, now at equivalent point what happens? Both reactants are completely consumed. That means here both NH4OH and NH4Cl completely neutralizes. That means both are limiting reagents. That means in the mixture you have NH4OH and NaCl. NaCl do not undergo any salt hydrolysis. NH4OH is a weak base, so with the help of weak base, that is the NH4OH, we can find the pH of the solution. Weak electrolyte, that is the OH minus ion concentration will be equal to C into alpha. So we have to find the alpha value first of all, and after that pOH, and after that pH. Okay, now after equivalent point what happens? You have NH4OH along with NH4OH, and NaOH is also present, because now NaOH will be what? Excess. NaOH become what? Excess. Now in the beaker we have two bases. Number 1 NH4OH, number 2 NaOH. NaOH is a strong base. NH4OH is a weak base. Here also common ion effect is applied. So that's why the ammonium hydroxide ionization will be suppressed in the presence of a strong base, that is the NaOH. So we have to consider the pH of a solution with respect to NaOH only. Okay, so this is the curve here, pH value on the y-axis and the volume of NaOH added on the x-axis. Initially we have salt, so salt hydrolysis. After that we have basic buffer, nothing but here what is the salt here? NH4Cl. Cationic hydrolysis, we know how to calculate the pH. Now basic buffer, the composition will be what? NH4OH plus NH4Cl. Yes or no? Now we have weak base, that is nothing but NH4OH. And finally we have mixture of weak base, strong base, that is the strong base NaOH. Now here the pH range will be 8 to 10. In the 8 to 10 region, the one of the important indicator which we use is phenolphthalein. Remember, if the base is strong, then we have to use phenolphthalein. That means strong acid strong base and weak acid strong base titration. Phenolphthalein is the most important suitable indicator. Remember, once again I am telling, if the base is strong, irrespective of the acid, base is strong, then which indicator is used? Phenolphthalein. Which indicator is used? Phenolphthalein. Yes or no? Now there is a one question given here. What is the question given here? 100 ml of a 0.1 molar NH4Cl is given. Okay, now NH4Cl and titrated with what? NaOH. Here also there are different volumes of NaOH is added. 0 ml, 50 ml is added, 100 ml is added, and yes, 100 ml is added. Now first of all, here you see NH4Cl plus NaOH. What is the reaction here? To give NH4OH plus NaCl. So in the beginning only you have what? In the beginning only you have what? NH4Cl. That means we have to calculate the pH regarding the, first of all, 0 ml NaOH. So NaOH is not added. When NaOH is not added in the solution, in the beaker only NH4Cl present. NH4Cl only present. So only NH4Cl present means cationic hydrolysis, salt hydrolysis. With the help of salt hydrolysis, we can find the pH of the solution. Okay. What is the concentration of NH4Cl given here? 100 ml of a 0.1 molar. 0.1 molar. Okay. Now here, what is the pH formula? pH is equal to half into pKw minus pKb minus log C. Okay. Now pKw value will be 14 and pKb value given here, pKb given and pKb value will be 5. And what about the salt concentration? Here the salt concentration will be 10 to the power minus 1. So log of 10 to the power minus 1 nothing but minus 1. Here minus of minus become what? Plus. Are you getting my point? Whole divided by 2. Whole divided by 2. 10 by 2, that is the 5 pH. Okay. Now second case, we are adding 50 ml of NaOH. Yes. Now to the salt of weak base strong acid, that is the ammonium chloride, we are adding the strong base, that is the NaOH. Yes or no? So there is a formation of weak base along with NaCl. Now here 50 ml of NaOH, the concentration of NaOH is given how much? Concentration of NaOH is given how much? Volume of NaOH added. Okay, here the concentration of NaOH must be here not given. Here actually the concentration of NaOH must be given here. Here I am taking the 0.1 molar NaOH. Now tell me 0.1 molar 50 ml means how many millimoles of NaOH we are adding? Now 5 millimoles. Now how many millimoles of NH4Cl is present? 100 into 0.1, 10 millimoles. The NaOH will be the limiting reagent. So that means you have 5 millimoles of ammonium hydroxide. Okay. Now in the solution you have 5 millimoles of ammonium chloride also. That means you have a mixture of which buffer? Basic buffer. So basic buffer POH is equal to pKb, that is the 5 plus log of salt concentration 5 millimoles by acid concentration also 5, log 5 by 5 log 1 0. So the pOH value 5. So pH value will be 14 minus 5, that is equal to 9. That is equal to what? 9. Are you getting my point? So this is the pH of the solution. Are you getting my point? This is the basic buffer. This will be which buffer? Basic buffer. Now the third one, suppose we are adding how many ml? That will be the 100 ml. We are adding how many ml? 100 ml, which we are adding NaOH. Now tell me here again I am writing the equation NH4Cl plus NaOH to give NaCl plus NH4OH. Okay. Now NH4Cl 10 millimoles. Now NaOH is also 10 millimoles. That means both are completely consumed. So you will get 10 millimoles of NaCl and 10 millimoles of NH4OH. That means this is the equivalence point. Equivalent point. Are you getting my point? Now here we are calculating the pH of a solution with respect to ammonium hydroxide. Now what is the ammonium hydroxide concentration? 10 millimoles divided by total volume will be 100 ml plus 100 ml, that is the V1 plus V2 200 ml, so you have 1 by 20. Okay, now here alpha we have to calculate. Let's suppose alpha value under root of Kb by C. Let's suppose if the degree of ionization or dissociation less than or equal to 5%. Okay, from here you will get the root 2 into 10 raised to minus 2, that means 1.4 percentage. Okay, this is less than 5%. Now from here what is the OH minus ion concentration? That is equal to C into alpha. Okay, what is the C value here? 1 upon 20. What is the alpha value? Root 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. Okay, from here you have 1 by root 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. From here we can find the H plus ion concentration, that is equal to Kw by OH minus ion concentration. The H plus ion concentration here you have root 2 into 10 raised to minus 11. Root 2 into 10 raised to minus 11. Here pH is equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration to the base 10. Now here 11 minus log of root 2, which is nothing but 10.85 is the pH of the solution. Okay, now next question. Which of the following curves represent the graph of the pH during the titration of NaOH and HCl? Remember, it is very easy to identify the graph. Now first of all, you see on the x-axis which volume is added, acid or base? Base. When base volume is added, definitely when we are adding the base, that means when the OH minus ion concentration increases, the pH value of the solution is also increases. Are you getting my point? OH minus ion concentration increases, the pH of a solution increases, so upward graph should be present. Upward graph should be present. The upward graphs we have option B and option C. Okay, now in option C and in option B, in the option B, so if you see there is a sharp increase here, the pH value from here to here. Okay, so these graphs we have to remember the graph, that is the titration between the strong acid and strong base. Okay, so here the option is B. Option will be the B option. Okay, now here initially the pH slightly increases. Okay, now here if you observe in between almost 3 to 10 there is a sharp increase in the pH range, that will be only in the titration of the strong acid and strong base. Are you getting my point? Now come to the next question. 100 ml of a 0.1 m NaCN solution is titrated with 0.1 mole of HCl. Okay, now HCl is added. When HCl is added, what happens? H plus ion concentration in the solution increases. Yes, when H plus ion concentration increases, the pH must be what? Decreases. So there are two options we have: decrease, that is the downward graph. Where the downward graph is present? Option B and option C. But the option B, there is a linear decrease in the pH value. That is not the linear decrement. There will be exponentially the pH value decreases. Are you getting my point? Now we have to remember the nature of the curve. Titration of strong acid, strong base, strong acid, weak base, weak acid, strong base. Okay. Now, which of the following graph corresponding to the acid base titration? Number 1, pH value given on the y-axis in 4 options. On the x-axis, what is the value given on the x-axis? Volume of strong base added. When strong base is added, what happens? The OH minus ion concentration increases, the pH of a solution is also increases. That means option 1 is correct. Are you getting my point? Now remember, the monobasic acid, that means it is only one H plus ion, that means here only one equivalent point is there. One equivalent point is there. Okay. Now the second one, strong acid is added. When strong acid is added, that means H plus ion concentration increases. then pH of the solution will be what? Decreases. It is also weak monoacidic base. That means here also only one equivalent point will be present. That means A and B both are mirror images. A and B both are what? Mirror images. Okay. Just now I told you, if base is present on the x-axis, the OH concentration increases, pH increases, the graph should be upward. Okay. If on the x-axis acid is there, so H plus concentration increases, pH decreases, the graph should be downward. So these two graphs are mirror image to one another. Okay. Now that means B option is also correct. Now come to option C. Here volume of strong base given, that means OH minus ion concentration increases. OH minus ion concentration increases, in the sense pH is also increases. Yes, the pH value increasing. But the thing is, this is not a mono basic acid, this is a polybasic acid. Okay. Now the basicity is what? 2. That means now we completed in the last class, that is the carbonic acid, hydrogen sulfide, phosphoric acid, polyprotic acids. Okay. Now from here to here there will be buffer, acidic buffer 1. Are you getting my point? Now one more buffer you have. Okay. Now here you have salt hydrolysis, you have salt hydrolysis. That means here this graph is also correct. Are you getting my point? The volume, that means carbonic acid is there, NaOH reaction. Okay. Hydrogen sulfide is there, reaction with NaOH. If you have any doubt, you see the last lecture where we completed the graphs. Okay. This graph is also correct. Now this graph corresponding to the diacidic base, that means it is a mirror image of the C. So B is the mirror image of A and D is the mirror image of C. So here all graphs are correct. So option will be A, B, C and D. Okay. Now come to next question. Select the best indicator from the given data. Okay. Here actually there are 4 indicators given here: bromo, thymol blue, thymol phenolphthalein, malachite green and M-cresol purple, that is metacresol purple, and the pH range is given. First of all, we have to find the pH of the end point of the solution, that is the equivalent point of the solution. Okay. Now here the reaction between acetic acid and sodium hydroxide. Which solution you will get? Sodium acetate solution. Yes or no? Now here, what is the acetic acid concentration given? 20 ml 0.02. So 20 ml into 0.02 molar. Now NaOH is 0.02 molar. But the volume is not given. Now remember, at end point or equivalent point, N1 V1 will be equal to N2 V2. That means number of milli equivalents or equivalents of acid and base must be equal. Now what is the concentration of acid? 0.02. What is the volume of acid? 20. Now what is the normality of base? 0.02. What is the volume of base to be calculated, which is also equal to 20 ml. This is the volume of NaOH required for end point. Okay. Now here also we are using how many ml? 20 ml, because at the end point equal volumes and equal concentration. Now how much of salt will be? Both are limiting reagents, so salt will be formed 20 into 0.02 millimoles. Now here what is the concentration of the salt here? Sodium acetate concentration, total number of millimoles 20 into 0.02 by total volume 20 plus 20 40, so 0.01. So the concentration 10 raised to minus 2, so log of 10 raised to minus 2, that will be minus 2. Are you getting my point? Now this is a anionic hydrolysis. In anionic hydrolysis, the aqueous nature will be basic, and pH of a solution, pH is equal to half into, directly I am writing pKw, which is 14, and what is the pKa? pKa value given in the question, which is 4.74. 4.74, and log C value, that is the -2. Okay, this value will be 8.37. Now here, out of the 4 indicators, whose pH range will be lie 8.37? In which range the 8.37 will be present? 8.37 will be present in option number 4, that is the metacresol purple. Metacresol purple. Here I am writing one important note. This is a very important note. Okay, what is the note here? Now indicator pH range. Remember, each indicator has its own characteristic pH range that will be given in the question. So we do not remember all the pH range indicators. Okay, indicator pH range should lie, that is present perfectly within sharp range of pH of equivalence point of titration. If the equivalent point of titration pH value is lie in between the pH range of that indicator, or the pH range of that indicator is lie in the pH of the equivalent point of the titration, then only that indicator will be the suitable indicator for that particular titration. Are you getting my point? Now here one more question is there. 100 ml of 0.02 benzoic acid, molar benzoic acid, pKa 4.2, treated with 0.02 molar NaOH. Then NaOH, the pH of a solution after addition of 50 ml, 100 ml of a NaOH solution. Are you getting my point? Here, first of all, add the 50 ml of NaOH, so you will get the buffer solution. Okay, and after that you have the salt hydrolysis. Try yourself. Okay, the answer will be the 4.2 comma 8.1, that is the option 3, third option. Okay, try yourself. Okay, now here one statement is there. In the titration of weak monoprotic acid with strong base, the pH at the half equivalent point is the pKa. Yes or no? Statement 1 once again. In a titration of weak monoprotic acid with strong base, the pH at the half equivalent point is the pKa. That means here, let's suppose I have acetic acid. Okay, and strong base, that is the NaOH, that is the sodium hydroxide, acetic acid and sodium hydroxide. Okay, it will give sodium acetate and H2O. Are you getting my point? Now here, let's suppose half equivalent point. That means here 50% of the acid will neutralize. 50% of acid will be neutralized. That means here 100% of acid is there. Okay, now 50% of acid will be neutralized. That means 50% of salt will be formed. Are you getting my point? Now the pH will be calculated with the help of a buffer solution. pH is equal to what? pKa plus log of salt concentration half equivalent means 50% completion of reaction. Okay, divided by acid concentration. So acid concentration, salt concentration will be equimolar, so they will be cancelled. So log 1 becomes 0. So pH is equal to what? pKa. Do you know pH is equal to pKa? This is the condition for good buffer or a best buffer. Best buffer. The condition will be the concentration of salt and concentration of acid must be in 1:1 molar ratio. So the concentration must be equal. That means both are correct and correct explanation. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 will be correct, and also correct explanation. Okay. Now here, what is the difference in the pH of 1/3 of 2/3 of acid will be neutralizes by 0.1 m acetic acid with 0.1 molar NaOH. Now here, acetic acid and NaOH. Now here, acetic acid and NaOH, what is the reaction between acetic acid and NaOH? Now first of all, this is a acid. Let's suppose we are using one general acid. I am writing acid. Okay. Now acid combined with whom? Base. Okay. Now let's suppose initially acid will be 100%. Out of 100%, let's suppose some part of the acid will be neutralized and some part of the acid will be left. Okay. Now how much of acid will be neutralized? How much of acid will be neutralized? That much of the salt will be formed. Yes or no? And some of the acid will be left here and salt will be formed here. That means the mixture of these two will be called acidic buffer. Are you getting my point? Now here, how much of acid will be neutralized? 1/3. That means acetic acid plus NaOH to give sodium acetate and H2O. Now here, how much of acid will be neutralized? 1/3. So if you take the 1 initially, that is the 100%, out of which here 33.33% neutralized, that means 1/3 of salt will be produced and 2/3 of acid will be left. Yes or no? Now what is the pH of the solution? pH is equal to buffer solution pKa plus log of salt concentration by acid concentration. So pH is equal to pKa plus log of 1/2. Are you getting my point? That means pH is equal to pKa minus log 2. Okay. Let's suppose this is the pH 1. Now the second case, how much of acid will be neutralized? 2/3. Means 2/3 of acid means here 1/3 of acid will be left. Yes, because 2/3 of acid will be neutralized means 2/3 of salt will be formed. Yes or no? 2/3 of salt will be formed, 1/3 of acid will be present. Are you getting my pen? From here, pH 2 which is equal to pKa plus log 2. This will be the pH 2, this will be the pH 1. The question is the change in the pH, that is the equation 2 minus equation 1, that is higher minus lower. So pK cancel, log 2 minus of minus plus. So log 2 plus log 2, 2 log 2, log 2 value 0.3, so 0.6 is the answer. So 2 log 2 is the correct answer. 2 log 2, that is the option number 4. Okay. And finally one more question, last question we have. 15 ml of a sample of a 0.15 molar ammonia. Ammonia nothing but ammonium hydroxide. Both are same. Titrated against a 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid. What is the pH at the end point? What is the pH at the end point? Are you getting my point? Now here, first of all, ammonium hydroxide, nothing but ammonia, and this is the hydrochloric acid. Now here, how much of the volume of the ammonia given? 15 ml and concentration 0.15. So I am using the formula N1B1 equal to N2V2. Okay. What is the N1 here? Normality, molarity 0.15, N factor will be 1 into volume will be 15 ml will be equal to. Now what is the molarity of HCl? 0.1 into N factor will be 1, that will be 0.1 normal, and we don't know the volume of the hydrochloric acid. Okay, from here, what is the volume of the hydrochloric acid? 22.5 ml of hydrochloric acid will required for the complete neutralization. After getting the volume of hydrochloric acid required for the complete neutralization of ammonia. Now we have salt formation, that is the reaction of ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH, and hydrochloric acid, that is the HCl, when both are combined to give what? Ammonium chloride, that is the salt NH4Cl and H2O. Okay, now here NH4OH, that is nothing but ammonia 15 ml into 0.15 molar, hydrochloric acid 0.1 molar into 22.5. So both are completely consumed. Okay, now finally you have ammonium chloride salt. Okay, that will be 2.25 millimoles. Here 2.25 millimoles completely consumed, and 2.25 millimoles of HCl and NH4OH both are completely consumed. So you have 2.25 millimoles of salt. Now here, what is the concentration of salt? That is the ammonium chloride NH4Cl. Total number of millimoles of salt will be 2.25 millimoles by total volume here 15 ml of ammonium hydroxide and 22.5 ml HCl. Remember, the volume of HCl not given, so that's why we are calculating the volume of HCl initially at the equivalent point. Okay, now after that the concentration will be equal to 6 into 10 raised to minus 2. Okay, now the log C value equal to here minus 2 plus log 6. Do you know log 6 value? Yes, 0.778. 0.778. Okay, so this value minus 1.22. Okay, after that the salt hydrolysis, that is the cationic hydrolysis, pH value will be half into pKw. Okay, are you getting my point? pKw. Now what is the pKa value given here? What is the pKb value given here? Kb value given 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5. Approximately we can write the pKb value 4.74 approximately. Okay, now minus pKb minus log C. Okay, after simplification you will get the answer, final answer 5.24. This is the pH of the solution. Okay, and one more last question here. pH at the midpoint of the titration of 20 ml of a formic acid, 1 molar formic acid with 1 molar NaOH, that is given 3.7. Here pH of the solution is also given. Then what is not, which information not given here? pH given. pKa of the formic acid, that is a weak acid, the dissociation constant Ka or pKa is not given. So first of all write the equation between the hydrochloric acid and formic acid and sodium hydroxide. Formic acid and sodium hydroxide. Yes or no? Now what is the reaction between the formic acid and sodium hydroxide here? Formic acid and sodium hydroxide. Okay, that is equal to sodium formate plus H2O. Okay, now here what is the formic acid molarity given? 1 molar and volume given 20 ml. NaOH molarity given 1. Okay, now here the question is midpoint, that means 50%, that means the formic acid is 20. So only we have to neutralize 50% of the formic acid, that means 20 millimoles. That means the sodium hydroxide should be taken 10 millimoles. Yes or no? Now the 10 millimoles completely consume NaOH. Out of the 20 millimoles of formic acid, 10 consumes and 10 will be left. Okay, and 10 millimoles of salt will be present. So here buffer equation, pH is equal to acidic buffer pKa plus log of salt concentration upon acid concentration. salt concentration, acid concentration 10:10, they will be cancelled. Log 1 0, pH is equal to pKa. What is the pH value given? 3.7, nothing but the pKa. So pKa value indirectly pH value. Okay, now here find the pH at the end point. At the end point means both are completely consumed. At end point you have only salt, that is the sodium formate. That means we have to calculate the pH of a solution with the help of whom? Salt hydrolysis. With the help of whom? Salt hydrolysis. Now how many millimoles of salt will be present here? 20, because 20 millimoles of acid is there. Now total volume is the 20 plus 20, 40. Okay, so the concentration of the salt will be 0.5. okay, now from here what is the pH of the solution here? Half into pKw, okay, plus pKa plus log C. Okay, log C nothing but log of 1 by 2. Log of 1 by 2 nothing but minus log 2. Minus log 2 nothing but minus 0.3. After simplification you will get the answer 8.7.